What's up, guys? Our Wrestling Podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Jess the Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, and the Nature Boy Joe, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Today's topic, wrestling nicknames, For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Higher Radio, or watch our videos on YouTube at our wrestling channel. It's trash, absolute trash. And check out exclusive content on Daily Motion at our Wrestling Podcast. I was so close to nailing it, and I just, you just face planted all the way through it. On social media, give us a follow on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. And apologies for the intro, shabash. But yeah, this is going to be fun. To my understanding,
powered by New Amsterdam.
Ooh, it really was. Really was. Good stuff. And maybe
our
some
new sponsor.
Bottles of wine. Our new sponsor. New Amsterdam. I gotta think of a jingle for that later. But I'll tell you, Joe and Jess have been talking about nicknames for a long time for a episode, and we're finally doing it. So I'm pretty excited. What do you guys say about nicknames?
I don't even know the rules. So I just came up with the idea, and then I backed off, and then Joe's gonna
figure it
steal
out
from me, and I'm gonna get upset at him, and like everything. So it's free form.
Fight.
We're gonna go around the table. Our favorite nicknames. So the example I will give, because I don't think any of us are going to choose it, is like Hacksaw Jim Duggan or Hacksaw
My
Butch
favorite.
Reed.
It's my favorite. How dare you?
I apologize if I took anybody's title. So the nickname Hacksaw would be the one we're focusing on. So that's kind of, especially, it's so funny because we're going to do a review.
I didn't realize there were two Hacksaws until you just said Butch Reed, and that's absolutely true. There's two
Hacksaw was not Hacksaw outside of the WWF. When he came to the WWF, he was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Butch Reed was a natural Butch Reed when he went to WWF, but he was Hacksaw Butch Reed outside of the WWF. So, so that the nickname Hacksaw is what we're focusing on. So if that helps people concentrate on the theme, it helps you guys with offering names. Yeah. But I mean, I would also accept, like, I don't know, like, Joe said earlier, like, I don't want to say anything because if I steal someone's shit, they're going to be mad.
You can say Sting. No one's going to pick Sting.
Sting or Hollywood Hogan. Like, I would accept that because Hollywood was a nickname.
Hollywood John Tatum.
Even though, like, it was Hulk Hogan originally, and then he became Hollywood Hogan, but Hollywood is kind of a nickname, so I would accept that. So if that's a good parameter.
And it doesn't have to be anything having to do with the actual performance of the wrestler itself. Just you can actually like the name itself could trigger and be the force of the whole thing that resonates with you.
Yes.
Just like finishing maneuvers, there's some people out there that have piece of shit wrestlers that happen to have a good name or happen to have a good finishing maneuver. And
Bear Hug Jones. Yeah.
Whoa.
God damn it, Craig. That's another one off my list.
I'm sorry.
Arm Drag Arnold.
To start?
It's SD special delivery.
You know what? We should let Jess start.
That's not bad, actually.
Let's Jess. Why don't you start so you can't claim no one stole your first? At least your first.
If you're gonna nominate me to go first, I could either fuck all you guys up and pick something that I know you guys have, or I'm gonna blow your dick off right now and do
hours.
A nickname that was actually a very short time.
Not a South Park episode.
This person left WCW and came to WWF and then came up with this nickname, and it only lasted like 4 months or whatever. And unfortunately, he got into a family controversy and had to leave. And I'm talking about the Widowmaker, Barry Windham.
Oh, nice.
And so
nicely
I love the nickname, the Widowmaker. He was only on WWF television for like 3 or 4 months, and he was slated to be part of Survivor Series 89. But I guess that his dad and his brother got involved in a counterfeit bullshit. And so they got brought up on charges. And so Wyndham went to Vince and said, hey, I don't know if you want this negativity. And Vince is like, I do not. And so Wyndham was like, yeah. So it started with Wyndham leaving Jim Herd in WCW because he was like, you had me wrestle all the top stars like Flair, Pillman, and everybody else. And like, you don't pay me top money. Sting, you pay all them like fucking tons of money, but you don't pay me shit. So I guess like he requested Jim Herd's attention. Jim Herd ignored him. So he's like, I'm leaving. So he left, took a couple months off, called Vince and said, hey, I'll come back down to you. And this is the first time that Wyndham had been back in the WWF since Wyndham and Rotundo, who are going to be in the Hall of Fame, by the way, this year, as the American Express. So like when he left the first time, he kind of pissed Vince off because that was when Vince was taking off on the rocket ship and taking over the world. So he came back. Vince is like, yeah, I got room for you. Absolutely. No problem. Like, and Wyndham was like 6'6", fucking, 285 pounds, 290 pounds. Like,
He's a big
and
boy.
Wyndham himself even said at this time, I was in the best shape of my career, like basically. So he came in and
Wow.
Vince is like, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And he's like, well, I'm thinking of a name called the Widowmaker because there's this bull that all the professional riders ride. And I think he killed one guy one time, this bull. And he injures
Whoa.
every fucking top rider he gets on. And people stopped wanting to ride this bull so that it retire this bull. And the bull's nickname was the Widowmaker because he killed guys, which means like if you were married, your wife is a widow. And everybody knows the main vein to your heart is called the Widowmaker because if that gets clogged and you have a heart attack, they're just like, well, what got clogged? It was the Widowmaker. It was the main ventricle to your thing. So it all resolves around like, a man dying and a woman being widowed. That's what the nickname was. So he's like, I'd like the Widowmaker, which I thought was a fucking wonderful name. He only was on a couple syndicated shows, and then the controversy happened with his family. I think it was a counterfeit thing that they were involved in. And then Wyndham's like, I gotta go. And Vince is like, yeah, I would love for you to leave because fuck that shit. I don't want any kind of investigation from the FBI or, the federal government on my shit. And later it would happen worse for Vince, but this is back in 1989. So Widowmaker, in my long-winded story, is my first offer. The Widowmaker. And a lot of people don't remember that Wyndham was that for a while, for like 3 months, like a short time.
Yeah. No, that's
the
a good
Widowmaker.
one.
I love the name. Widowmaker's awesome.
Great nickname and a great piece of history is what I'd say. That short span of time, that's cool.
Hells yeah.
Who's got another one?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I love the nickname. I love the wrestler it's attached to, but I also think it's a very, very cool name, the Enforcer.
God damn it.
I think it fits.
Damn it.
Okay.
Oh, really?
That's a good one.
Shit.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
I'll take it.
It is fucking awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It perfectly fits Arm's role in the Four Horsemen. Not necessarily being the front guy, but like the guy who does all the dirty work. It's a hockey term for the guy that the defensive guy that you don't touch the forward. And if there's any problems, the Enforcer will beat the shit out of you. Like, I love that nickname. I didn't want to go too obvious, but it sounds like we were all on the list there. But love the nickname, love Arn. But even without it, I think it's a very cool name. You can attach it to anybody.
It's awesome.
The Enforcer fit. There always has to be someone like that in the Horseman. And the great thing about the Horseman up until its final split, not because it split because, WCW basically died. Arn was the Enforcer almost all the way through, even when he wasn't on the team. He was always the Enforcer. I love that pick, and I love Arn Anderson, and that's great. Joe, what do you got, man?
Joe's got
I guess I'll go with some low hanging fruit and just pick the one that kind of I think spurred the conversation in the beginning, anyways.
The Hulkster? Oh, sorry.
No, fuck off.
Now, the total package.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think
that was the first name. Because I remember Joe and I talking about, we're like, Total Package is is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
name.
like it was such an awesome. I mean, it so encapsulated Luger's physique and his he had a badass finisher. He had a great look. He was like muscular to hell. The promos were decent enough. And especially when he came out, he was actually a pretty halfway decent wrestler. So the total package, it was just like, dude, that I just remember us like talking about. It's like, it's a great fucking name.
Fucking awesome.
It really was.
That's a great fucking name.
Even though he wasn't, because he couldn't talk, but that's fine. I mean, as a body.
But it fit in perfect. It's weird. It's like
it did.
You just believed it. Like even though the total package would probably encompass wrestling, and he wasn't a wonderful wrestler. But I mean, like his body was. Yeah, like it was such a great name. Like Joe and I always talked about what a fucking great name like that was. Like what a spot on fucking name for him.
In fact, I don't know if, not to tell tales, but Jess, you chose that nickname as your character in when we did a little backyard stuff.
Yes, yeah, that's why I had him on my. I didn't go to him first because I was like, "Goddamn, Joe's gonna fucking take my."
Well, it's like after the first round, it's got to get out in the first round. So,
well, if we're gonna do that, then I'm gonna pick one that's got to be on your list because if I go to round 2, it'll probably get taken by then.
Piece of shit.
And because it's too easy. Talk about low hanging fruit, and this guy personified the whole thing. There's a few people that really embody the nickname that he carried.
I know what you're going
of
to
his
say.
wrestling name.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Well, he caught a pass from himself. I'm just saying. We're gonna go with Mr. Perfect.
I know.
It's
Fuck.
easy.
Was that on
Easy.
your list, Jess?
Yes.
Has to be.
It was
Mr.
also
Perfect's
one of the
great.
names that Joe and I talked about. Total Package was the first, and Joe's always like,
And-
Mr. Perfect's fucking pretty good too. And I was like, it is
Yeah.
fucking really good.
It is. It's one of the best nicknames if you can own up to it. By the way, but Kurt Hennig had the ability and the mindset and the ego to ride that through, and just doing these vignettes where he's catching a pass from himself, or he's spinning the gum and perfectly hitting it into the. And the stupid catching the towel around his back because he's perfect. It wasn't that big of a deal, but he would do it. The ego was there, and he had quite an undefeated streak up until a certain point, almost until he met Hogan, I think. Just, but I'm not sure if I'm exactly right on that.
Well, on TV, Beefcake beat him, but in house shows, Warrior and Hogan beat him.
Yeah, 100%. So, as far as and the Perfect Plex was a fantastic finisher. Not too many people could hook it up like that. I think one of the best entertainers and also one of the best technical wrestlers, but also had the ability to carry that nickname, which is why not only the nickname itself is just great, but if you didn't own up to it, because by the way, Curtis Axel didn't own up to even his nickname as his son because he wasn't as perfect as Mr. Perfect. Let's be real.
All right, well, round one was painful, so but we're gonna go round two now.
Craig,
Dave,
Craig took
who
my
do you
number
want to
two.
start, Dave? You pick to start round two. Don't.
Oh, I could. Okay, we're doing snake. We're doing the snake.
Yeah,
round.
you
Okay.
can go. You can pick Joe. Whatever you want to do.
I'll just go and give you another one. I'm gonna pick a real recent one. He's gonna be the one of the main eventers this coming week at WrestleMania, and I absolutely love the American Nightmare nickname. I think it's fantastic.
He was on my list. He was on my list.
Oh, I didn't have him on my list. Great, that's wonderful.
I love it because when you think about the nostalgia of his dad, and the
it's
American
wonderful because you
Dream-
didn't steal my fucking from my list. So that's fucking super.
Oh, good.
Wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'm so glad that's the case. But the American Nightmare embodies so much about the family history of the Rhodes family. As his dad was I'm not gonna say his dad was. You might have that on your list, but there's a big
No one's
tune
saying
of
it.
history.
You can say it.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
nice.
American Dream. When you go from the American Dream to the American
That was on
Nightmare,
my list.
And damn it. See,
Sorry, Joe.
son of a bitch.
Thanks, Dave.
No, say thanks, Craig, because Craig cleared me for that, Joe. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig. But what I would say with the
not
American
well.
Dream and everything in between that, from Goldust God, I'm gonna stop because you might have other nicknames you like on these guys, but with both of Dusty's sons and their nicknames and getting to that and getting through all the bullshit to finally developing into no, I'm the American Nightmare. I am your worst nightmare, and I'm gonna bring this to you. And it's even come from a heel set in New Japan into AEW. Now it has this obscene face persona today. He is he's white hot as far as the American Nightmare is today. Even though Joe says there's a time, you see the suits, he's going to turn, and that nickname will take care of that too. It's perfect for that. And I love Cody Rhodes, love everything he's doing. I love that nickname. He believes in it so much, he has it tattooed on his goddamn neck. Come on.
I
sure
agree with
does.
everything you're saying. However, Dave, do you know who the
Sorry.
first person that had the American Nightmare moniker was?
I don't. Who is it? Oh my God.
Dustin.
Really?
Is that right?
Yep. In WCW,
I
he
didn't
was
know
either
that.
WCW or TNA. He actually came out for a while as the American Nightmare because it was his
Wow.
anti his dad thing. Like, and he was trying to like break out from
Oh,
it. This was
no.
after
Wow.
it was after he left WWF as Goldust. So he either
I
came in WCW
did not
with that
know
or
that.
it was TNA. It was one of the two. But he briefly for a while was the American Nightmare, and then he left it, and then Cody picked up on it and left. So Dustin,
Is it?
I don't mean to shit on your choice. That's a wonderful choice.
No,
and it's
no,
valid.
no.
I'm just saying
But
that
is that why Cody picked it up too? You think
Yes,
it's part of
yes.
the family nostalgia. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
That's even better. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's super cool. Okay.
So Dustin Rhodes was
I-
actually the original.
I had
That's
no
awesome.
idea. That's so cool. That's even better. That makes it even better. So fun.
Yes.
I'll go with Craig next.
Huh? Okay, so no one's gonna have this one, but this one,
Papa Shango.
it's a bit of a yes, it's Papa
El
Shango.
Matador.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
This one goes. This is kind of a crutch, actually, and you can give this to Instant Elevation. But also, some of the best in the world have had this nickname. So, the King, right?
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Because it signifies royalty. It signifies kind of like regalness. It signifies kind of better than you. It's an instant heel gimmick, and everyone from Lawler to Owen to
Mabel was the
Haku,
best.
Savage.
Mabel.
Randy Savage.
Savage
Randy
has
Savage.
used this nickname.
Booker T, maybe.
Hacksaw
It's
Duggan.
like the King Duggan. Yeah, it's an instant gimmick changer.
I love it.
And for
Harley
a
Race, right?
nickname to kind of Harley Race, yeah, completely. So, might be a bit of low hanging fruit for like when you don't have something for them. But as far as probably one of the most popular nicknames that people have used, I think the King is an instant, just quick.
Okay, so
grab.
let's do the math. Like, who's been successful with it? Race, because he was the original,
Race.
technically.
Yep.
Lawler.
Savage,
Lawler.
dude. Savage. Well, Lawler probably is the biggest.
Yes.
But I mean, like Savage, who fucking owned that crown and
Macho
made that
King, bro.
wonderful with the Queen Sherry and all that
Yep.
stuff. Like, and then
Booker.
I love King
Booker.
Booker.
I was gonna say Booker T. Like, so
King
Craig,
Booker.
like that is a weighted name. That is a.
King Booker.
I never thought of that, and that's a great fucking offering.
Yeah.
That is really good. I never
Mabel.
thought of that.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Mabel.
Mabel.
Stop it, Joe.
Mabel,
now you're
I said
fucking
Mabel
fucking
as a joke. King Mabel.
King
Oh.
Austin. No, that's right.
Yeah, right. He's like, don't ever call me that.
He never. Don't do that.
Don't ever
do
fucking call me that.
I mean, look what Owen did with it, right? Like,
Yeah,
King
Owen
of
too.
Hearts.
Yes,
That's actually
absolutely. It's a really
King
good
of
one.
Hearts, so good.
Really fucking
Yeah.
So good. Joe, give it to us.
Fuck, why the fuck?
okay.
Please do.
I'm gonna.
Please
I got a
do.
whole
Just-
bunch.
No, I'm gonna pretend.
If you're
I'm
not
just gonna
ready-
go with something. I'm gonna go like I feel like this is I thought it was always kind of classic and just kind of straight to the point. Had a cool vibe to it, and a cool sound to it, anyways. But it was kind of short and sweet and to the point, and that's the Hitman.
yes,
God,
that was on my list.
Fuck you.
That was my number one.
Fuck. Yes, like I fucking knew he was gonna fucking do that. It was the core three
All right,
that I was talking.
and I oddly thought, for whatever reason, I thought that was not going to be on anybody's list.
No, the core three that I had you pegged for was Total Package, Mr. Perfect, and the Hitman. Those were the three. I was
Yeah.
like, that's what you
And
and
funny, I
talked
didn't have Mr. Perfect on my list at all.
Oh, really? That's fucking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's just
Really,
like it was like
Hitman's
I mean,
great.
he's the Hitman. Like, even if you put an S in front of it, it still works.
No, when you and I talked originally, you're just like Hitman's pretty cool, and I was like, it kind of is. Like, it's very simple, but it's like he's a Hitman. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's just it's short to the point, but it was
and
effective.
Brett had like
you
the
know?
long greasy curly hair. He was a Hitman.
Yeah.
He was cool. He always wore the sunglasses and the Heart Foundation. Like
Yeah.
he was cool and calm and like Hitman's
Mm.
really really a good nickname. Fuck you,
Yeah,
God.
so
Who's next? Me? I don't fucking know.
Don't say the Repo Man. The Repo Man's on everyone's list. Don't do that.
All right, I'm just gonna. Okay. I'm gonna do more modern. 'Cause I
Yeah.
knew this would happen because I knew Joe
Yeah.
Selfish. I knew this was gonna happen. I'm gonna go, and this is kind of maybe silly, but I don't know if this nickname is super great, but I feel that once he started adapting it, he found himself, and that's frickin' for Seth frickin' Rollins.
Okay.
I like
feel-
that. I like it.
I
Yeah.
feel like it was it's modern. I know frickin' silly, right? But like it's just
Not
kind of
really.
he adapted it in the PG area, so he's like, I can't say fucking, obviously, like RVD, because RVD is like, I'm the whole effing show and all that stuff. Or in ECW, he said, I'm the whole fucking show. But like Seth Rollins kind of readapted it to freaking. And I think now when he's announced as Seth freaking Rollins. And I think that he found his character when he adopted that. And like when he started really pushing that. And that's the cool Seth that we see now with the crazy outfits, the big shoes, the whatever. But he
Mhm.
understands himself. And I think that like freaking is my offering to like in this round, because like I think that he found himself. And so it may be a little different, but I think that like freaking is really cool, and probably nobody else will ever have that nickname except for Seth, because it really defines him. So I go with
Yeah.
Seth freaking Rollins. Was that beginning of round 2? Are we on round 2 or 3?
That's the end of round
It's
2.
end of round
End of
2.
round
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
Pick the next one, Jess. Who's gonna go?
Oh, fuck.
Oof.
No, this
Or
is
you can
beginning.
just go.
We're the beginning of round 3 right now.
Right. Yeah. So you can
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Snake it up. Snake draft.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna take a cheap shot right now.
Do it.
Okay.
Stone Cold.
Hulkster. What?
Stone Cold Steve
Okay.
Austin.
You don't want your
Yeah.
T to get Stone Cold.
It's
Yeah,
the name that exactly. It's the name that defined him. He tried stunning in WCW. Hopefully that was nobody's choice.
I love stunning.
He was the ringmaster, which was also on my list. I'm lying. That's not true. And then he finally said
That would be a great nickname for somebody, but not him. That would be a great nickname for someone.
Dave mentioned it right now. The conversation that happened, and Austin even put in his book and his biography was he was married to Lady Blossom, which was his manager in WCW for a while, and she was from England. And she had an accent, and of course they talk about tea, a lot in England. Like, so he was sitting, and he finally got the blessing from Vince to be like, I don't have any ideas for you. You got to come up with something. I don't know anymore. So he was sitting.
I'm not the ringmaster though.
Yeah, he's brainstorming with his wife, and they came up with a bunch of chili McFreeze, and because he said I had an idea, I want to be like almost like a serial killer, like with no remorse, like that's kind of like my character. And he shaved his head, and he had a goatee and all that stuff, and so the WWE creative came with like chili McFreeze and like all this fucking horrible shit, and then finally he's no, he's turning all of them down, and finally his wife's like that they were sitting and they were talking, he was just like I just don't know what to do, and I guess like she put a hot cup of tea in front of him, and he was still rambling on about I don't know what to do, and she's like, well, just forget that for now. Just please drink your tea before it becomes Stone Cold. And he was like, fuck, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he called Vince right away, and he's like, I want to be Stone Cold. I'm a Stone Cold killer. I'm a Stone Cold. I don't care about anybody. I will fuck anybody up or whatever, which is why he stunned everybody, whether he was face or he was the first tweener. So he just didn't care. So Stone Cold, I have to resort to that because Joe is a bitch, and he took all of my good names, and
wow,
that's why I had
only went twice.
So that it is low hanging fruit, but Stone Cold, it means a lot, and like that nickname carried him to be arguably the greatest wrestler of all time. So there you go. Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
Pick someone, Jess. Pick somebody. Pick someone.
Fucking Joe over there with the smirk and the fucking thing and the guy and the headphones and the sweater.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I went back and forth on a lot of these. It's like, what was it cool? It could have been cool for anybody, or was it only cool for like that one person?
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine
and,
either way.
I ended up, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he went by this. I wrote it down and I was like, did he go by that? I feel like he did go by it, but I thought it was like a really cool because he was going through his heel phase or whatever. And that was with Owen Hart when he was going by the Black Heart.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's a really good.
That's a
nice.
good one.
Yes.
Because the Black Heart, I don't know, it's like it worked well with his character and whatever, and it was just like it was very specific to him. But it just sounds cool on top of it. So
yeah,
that's really good.
It's a very Western thing too. It's like, and you perfect heel, like you have no remorse. No, it's
right.
Yeah, it goes 100%. A lot of ways.
I love that. So good, man. Nice, Joe. Joe, pick the next one. Let's go,
Dave.
Oof. I'm leaning towards safe, and I'm leaning towards like not so safe. Because we're talking about him for WrestleMania again, I'm gonna go with kind of an off nickname of a famous wrestler who has a nickname, and I'm just gonna go with like the Brahma Bull. I think that the Rock's nickname of Brahma Bull speaks volumes of like the heart, like the girth, just the freaking beast that is the Rock, especially when he's angry Rock, when he's heel Rock. I think he's the most Brahma Bull that we've seen in a while, if not ever. We're seeing the Brahma Bull right now from that segment that we just saw on Raw this week, where he took Cody to school, man. And I make a joke that he beat Cody in front of his dog, and someone said, that's not his dog, it's on the bus. I'm like, I know, it was a joke. But he he beat Cody so bad, and then took his blood off and wiped it on his white belt and said, "Mama Rhodes, this is coming your way." That's not fair.
All right, Craig, close us out. Obviously, at the end of round 3 right now, or yeah.
Close it out, buddy.
No, Craig's got his third.
My third one, so we didn't do a lot. We actually do a couple of these, actually, so I'll leave them. Surprisingly, no one said Nature Boy, even though I don't quite understand what Nature Boy is. So I thought we were going to get that discussion. No one said that.
As being as like as a Flair fan as I always have, I actually never enjoyed the nickname.
Interesting. Okay.
And the fact that he actually won it or took it from Buddy Landell or whatever. There
was like 3 other ones before him.
Or Buddy Rogers.
Buddy Rogers, yeah.
It's like
and Buddy Landell.
Yeah.
A lot of buddies in there. Not a buddy.
I'm going to go with, it's one that I kind of like it. And it's also, it's given to 2 of the best wrestlers in the world for different eras. So Ray Stevens got it first, and he was known as one of the all-time best workers, high-flying and quick in the ring when no one was really that. And then Benoit later on, decades later. But I think the Crippler is a fantastic nickname for a guy that can do some damage and paralyze you and cripple you. When you are crippled, you can no longer do your job. You are disabled. So if you are the Crippler, it has to be a fantastic way of giving how dangerous you are. So for Benoit and Ray
really
Stevens,
love
I think
the shout out to Ray Stevens. I think that's a great.
Yeah. The Crippler is
good one.
different eras. But
classic.
I like that.
That's a really good nickname, man. That's.
I think this episode stimulated us because now we're all like, oh, wait a minute, we can do this.
Yeah, I've thought of 30 others since we've been talking.
So maybe part 2, fucking Joe won't goddamn irritate me.
Oh, there's gonna be 10 of these.
Everybody had good selections, all right.
I knew I was in danger when I texted it, and I was like, I don't know why I just texted that because I know that Joe and I talked about that years ago. And he's going to remember stuff. And then you snaked the package, you snaked. I was like, God damn it, man.
For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, and check out exclusive content on Daily Motion at Our Wrestling Podcast. On social media, can you upset Jess a little bit and follow us on Instagram at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast for Joe, Jess, Craig, and me, and Jess again, because Jess is the mastermind. He gets 2 every time because he gets mad when I do it. This is the O.W.P.
Joe's a thief. I'm sick of it.
Have a good one.
Thief in the night.
Yeah.